Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games in the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives of varying skill range. I am the host of this episode, Andrew. With me, the one who can barely count, let alone count cards, Keith.
Hello.
And the one who's been taken over by Gambler, Aaron.
I don't know what a gambler is.
You don't know that reference, Aaron?
No, I do not know that reference. Should I know that reference?
Yeah, it's from The Simpsons.
Oh.
When Marge is addicted to the slot machines, he's like, your mother's been taken over by an evil creature. I call him Gambler.
I mean, that's a deep cut right there.
Is that like one of the first seasons? Like, it's where he like
season, I think 3.
Because I feel like I've actually seen that one, and there was a long time ago. I started watching the seasons from the beginning when you had them on DVD. You know, back before streaming.
Gosh, remember DVDs?
I still have them somewhere.
Oh, you don't get rid of them. No. And especially at this point, if you have them, don't get rid of them, because that might be the only way you get to keep watching them someday.
Hey, it's not.
Which is funny. I remember I as soon as they came out, I always bought them. And I never realized how much like vitriol hate people had. It's like season 6. They were always a colored box set. But season 6, whatever reason, they changed it to Homer's head.
Yeah.
And it's the only season they did that. And it just pissed so many people off because they're like, my collection looks super good. And then you have this Homer's head.
Yeah.
And they're like, why did you do this? And like, as a kid, I didn't care. I mean, I say kid, but obviously I was like in high school.
What's funny is
college.
when you talk about Simpsons DVD collection, that is literally the only thing that comes to mind is the plastic Homer's head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What you didn't know is that they were just
planning
to remarket it 20 years later.
Yeah.
Like, now we can resell that one season we wanted to.
I think they actually did. I think they actually did come out with like a box version.
I would, at the very least, like, sell people a separate box that you can just put the DVDs in.
Once Disney bought them, they knew they'd make their money back from buying Fox just by reselling that season. It was worth their investment just doing that.
All right, but anyway, we're not here to talk about The Simpsons, even though I could.
Yes, you could.
Talk about it plenty. We are here to talk about Clover Pit by Panic Arcade. Clover Pit is a first-person horror roguelike game where you are a character stuck in a very tiny box, and you have to keep paying your rent, and the only way you can pay your rent is by gambling on a slot machine. But as you keep making the appropriate amounts, your debt goes higher and higher until you can no longer afford it. But you have to figure out a way how to escape this box. But we did a very easy game this week because we've had a very busy week. Obviously,
it's been
Thanksgiving,
the holidays.
I had a birthday. Keith had a birthday. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to record this week, but here we are.
We tricked Andrew.
I know.
We showed up.
Literally last second, I was just about to play Jackbox, and there was like, "Oh, we're recording now." It's like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, going around whether or not this is Gamer Pass. I will start this off. I saw this game a couple times. Okay, yeah. So this game originally came out September 3rd. So I remember seeing this on PC originally. It was only on PC. And I was like, oh, that looks like it'd be a fun game. But if it doesn't have achievements, that's why I generally wait to play a game until it's on Xbox. But then, this was kind of a surprise drop. Xbox Game Pass was like, hey, it's out today. Go play it. And I got super hooked. I really liked Clover Pit. I mean, of course I did. It's it's a gambling roguelike. Like, how could you not like it? It's very simple. But the aesthetics of it are just great. It's very much like we kept talking about this.
Inscription.
Thank you. There it is. Very much like has that horror uneasy feeling of Inscription. But the mechanics are super quick and easy. I got very addicted to this game, probably because it's deal with gambling. This is a definite game. I had a lot of fun with Clover Pit.
I'm going to say I don't think this is for everyone, because even Balatro is a game that I would tell everyone to play, but I know that not everyone is going to like it. I'm just going to tell you to play it because I like it and I want everyone to play it. Clover Pit has all of those feelings, and I think I've talked about this on others, where like there's been this recent kind of new subgenre that people have created. They're like, oh, they've turned this into Balatro, and that's everything I had heard about Clover Pit. It was like, and maybe it's just my YouTube algorithm. The people they give you those stupid catch line screenshots. It's like, oh, Balatro, but a slot machine. I'll have to say that was my knowledge of this game, but I watched it and I went, yeah, that looks for me, and it is fun. If you like roguelikes, if you liked Balatro, you may or may not like this more. I think it's going to be entirely up to you, but I think it's definitely a game you have to check out because it's got a lot of the same feels of that. Also, as Andrew said, Inscription was immediately came to mind. The way it's narrated, the look and feel of it. Yeah, it's a really cool game overall.
See, I remember with the Balatro episode, you kind of said the same thing of like, and we had a big debate of whether or not you need to know poker to play Balatro or not. See, to me, I feel like anyone can play. It's a slot machine. You pull a lever. How could you not do this?
Oh, well,
but
we'll get into that argument, I'm sure.
We did have a listener comment on our debate on Balatro. He said, in my experience, the more you know of poker, the worse you do. The friends that I played with this minimal poker knowledge did better just because they went after the easier cards. My poker friends would try to get difficult hands for the first few attempts. So there we go. Aaron, you were the one who said it's like, what, better to not know poker?
Listen, I am not going to reopen the debate on Balatro. And that's...
No, I was the one who told Aaron you don't need to know poker for it because it's better to not.
I was the one that was arguing, like, when it tells me I get a more score for a full house, if I don't know what a full house is, how do I know how to get that score? Whoa, well, poker teaches me that. Okay, I'm not opening that debate. We're not.
But we will just remind everyone
that
Aaron also thought he needed to open every room in Blueprint. So we'll just get back to Aaron doesn't understand video games.
I had
That's really what I want to lock in here.
Don't
just
you dare
lock that in.
We are not going to rehash those previous episodes. I was proven right on the Blueprints one. Okay. So,
well, I was trying to tee you up, Aaron, because if people don't know us, when it comes to gambling, Keith obviously loves poker. Aaron here is a huge slot machine guy. So, Aaron, go ahead.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about slot machines in real life. You literally need to know nothing. You just you just hit the button. A bonus, you want to get bonuses, and that's all you really need to know. This doesn't have any of that per se, but this is a good game. This is not one that was necessarily going to get its hooks into me, though. But I can see why it will for a lot of people. So it is good. And I think it's totally fair to compare this to Balatro. And I think as we talk it through, I'll explain why there's actually kind of side by side a very similar build to these. But all in all, if I had to pick one or the other, I do think Balatro offers more long term. I think it actually does a better job of kind of building itself, where this one, you can do different runs. You can build different runs every time you play it, but it doesn't necessarily change a whole lot of how you're going to play it. It does a little bit. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but all in all, fun game. I think it's absolutely worth a try.
Yeah. So getting into the story of Clover Pit, because there actually kind of is one.
That's the Inscription side of it. That's where I'm like, you guys are 100% right, where it feels a little bit more like Inscription, because there's something going on. There is kind of a mystery built behind why you're there and what's happening.
Yeah. As I said, you're a person, no name, not given any identity. You just kind of wake up in this very decrepit, small room. There's, some bloody mess here and there, some really just grotesque things going on, things carved in the wall, and all you hear is a disembodied voice saying, like, hey, make sure you pay your debt, or you're going to drop through the floor and you won't like what happens there. And so you're essentially just building through your runs, trying to get higher and higher, and try to figure out a way to crack open the door, because you see a locked door in the room, and you see a key in a box. So obviously you think, I got to get that key. You get that key. Unfortunately, it's not for the door. So you got to figure out how to open this door. I absolutely loved kind of the mystery of this game. It wasn't a crazy good story. Like, it wasn't like Inscription. I loved Inscription story. Super good. This was fine. I liked it. I liked where it was going, and I kind of like how it is, but as the story goes, it's okay.
So there is and I could tell, and I got far enough because I got all 4 keys. So I fully unlocked the drawer. I don't think that's a spoiler to say that it just unlocks the one of the drawers. Yeah. And it didn't feel like, at least as far as everything I'd seen, I got a few memory packs, so it started getting down that road, but it felt more just like a little bit of a means to an end. And I liked it. and it gave that Inscription feel, but I didn't see it having an actual story per se. And it definitely, even if it has one at all, it clearly doesn't line up to Inscription, because the way Inscription handles it is just, it's just so cool and different as its own. But like, I guess it's a very long-winded question of like, is there like a full-fledged story per se, like why, like a reason why you're there?
Does it satisfy? Like, does it come to a conclusion?
Yeah, that's a better way to ask that.
I don't know the full ending. I know the way you're supposed to ascend. I guess it's not really spoiling things. So it's I mean, I don't want to say anything, but I just gotta say, one of our long ongoing joke tropes, it's very much true in this case of the game.
Where you want to spoil?
Oh, I already know where you're. I mean, I guess I could say that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay,
So
I know what you're saying.
So I guess if you don't know, go back and listen to probably the first episode, and
there is a
No,
theory.
go back to like, I don't know, like 20 of our episodes where we used to make a joke of, hey, this game takes place here.
Yeah, there's this running theory that all video games take place somewhere. And this one, I guess,
that's our mystery for this
possibly
episode.
does. So this game kind of reminds me, and again, I do think that element of it is very much Inscription. I'm kind of with you guys. The kind of vibe, feel, the thing kind of being around you, kind of stuff, all kind of feels like Inscription. The difference is, and we've talked about this on previous episodes too, I feel like Inscription started with the story, and then the game was built around the story, where this feels like the game was there, the story was built around that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that.
Where it felt like
100%.
That's why I think Inscription is special, because it feels like the story was well thought out. It feels like it's progressing as you're playing this game. This pretty kind of simple strategy game, but the story progresses and gets a little bit further. I don't feel like this game necessarily does that.
Well, yeah, and Inscription had layers with it. Had the AR, outside the game. There's like a whole. It was a different. And I agree with you. It felt like they said, "Hey, we have this story we want to tell." And they probably knew the general idea of the gameplay. I imagine all of the mechanics and all of the things they did probably came along with the storytelling. I imagine, but yeah, it was 100% felt like the story was there first.
Yeah.
Anything that I experienced in Clover felt
Clover Pit.
Clover Pit.
This is not related to the Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Movies. Yeah.
Dang, that's what I was really hoping that this was going to go out to. It's just a giant monster when I opened the door.
I was kind of too.
That would have been pretty great. But yeah, at least from what I experienced, it almost felt like a darker version of the Jimbo Joker in Balatro, just kind of taunting you along the way, like, haha, you lost, and it's obviously darker because you fall down a big death pit.
Ground up. Yeah. Pretty gross.
Yeah, a little bit darker. But there is a toilet, so
it's a good point. There is a toilet.
Jimbo the Joker is in this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's just the thing now. Just crossovers.
By the way, I do want to say I am just speculating. Like when I say that it feels like this game didn't have the story first, it kind of had the idea of the game and then the story just built around it. I'm just saying, if you're comparing Inscription to this, that's just what it feels like to me, and why they feel similar but also very different. I don't know. And again, just speculation. I don't know. They both maybe never even thought about the stories until.
No, I agree. Inscription definitely felt like it had a story first, because I mean, it had obviously live actors and a whole video, like documentary on it, kind of thing. So yeah, the story overall is fine. But obviously, what you're here is for the gambling, which you're doing a whole lot of.
Let's go gambling.
Every time, I always love that audio. Every time you're playing a run, you start off, you just got to make a simple, I don't know, what is it, goal of, you can alter your runs, but normally you have 3 rounds you can kind of go, you got to hit a certain goal amount, which starting off I think is around 50, if I remember. I'm playing on the hard, so it's been a while since I played on the easy, so.
Yeah.
But either way, you're collecting these trinkets, of course, which will give you perks, which will alter how the slot machine works. And you are just obviously trying to hit your goal every time. If not, the floor opens, run ends, start all over again. But as you're progressing, you obviously can get cards that'll kind of alter your run, limiting maybe the number of charms you can have, which are, the items that give you the perks. Maybe it'll increase the bounty you need to the bounty you need to reach under each round. But yeah, it's kind of simple, rinse and repeat. And I got to say, this was a very addicting loop. Because what I loved so much about Clover Pit, obviously it's about a slot machine. So usually when it comes to roguelikes, I get irritated when a game is so heavy on RNG, in which obviously this is very heavy on the RNG because it is a slot machine. So sometimes you'll get lucky with good charms, sometimes you'll get lucky with a good hand, but you never know. But still, it didn't feel brutal in Clover Pit. Because what I loved about Clover Pit, to me, this game felt so easy to break. By my third run, I was rolling and getting hundreds of thousands of coins on like my third run. And I was like, I feel like this is way too early in the game for me to already be breaking a run already. So that's what really, really, really hooked me with Clover Pit.
Well, so here's where I agree and I disagree, because I think my best run, and I'm almost curious if this is one of those things that sometimes these games do, is if they intentionally seed your first run to be a little bit stronger, but there's also the way that you unlock trinkets or charms or cards in other games, whatever it might be, that change your runs in future runs. You don't have all those unlocks, so it really narrows down your field, helps you get these long runs. But I think my best run was the very first time I played the game, and I think I scored into the millions on my very first one.
Wow.
Did I feel like I knew what I was doing? No idea. I didn't. Now, I kind of felt like I broke the game, so to speak, but I didn't know what I was doing. It was just kind of happening. This game is, and it makes sense because you're using a slot machine, super RNG heavy. I didn't feel like I was even, once I started to figure out, that's when I felt like I was doing worse, because then I was trying to strategize things that I was just kind of missing the mark, and I couldn't quite grasp what I was doing wrong. So that's kind of the weird thing about this. Like, I felt like and I'm going to go to Balatro, and I'm going to try not to use it consistently, but having jokers and cards as differences and drawing from them as specifically different pools in the shop made it easier for you to say, okay, I want to build my jokers this way. I want to build my deck this way. In Clover Pit, you have those trinkets, and at any point, those trinkets can impact any variety of aspects of the game. And for me, that's what made it feel like it was hard to target my breakage of the game, so to speak.
See, that's where I disagree. Again, this part, the actual gameplay part of it, this is where I think you can almost to apples comparison this to Balatro. Just like in Balatro, you don't control the decks. You don't control the hands that are placed out there. You might have a little bit of ways to adjusting it, but that's it. The jokers and the trinkets are the same type of idea. You can alter how your bonuses are, which I also like that it puts the bonuses on the wall, like what the current bonuses
you
are.
can see it live.
And you have certain trinkets that you can activate while you're playing. So again, very similar to the jokers in Balatro. Balatro has the antes. This has 3 rounds, just like the ante. You have to make sure you hit your score before you can go to the next ante. It's the same kind of idea and concept. Just like in Balatro, it's RNG on what type of jokers you're going to get. There's no guarantee you're going to get the jokers that you're looking for. I think Andrew, you pointed this out. This one I think is actually a little bit more easy to break because you can recycle the trinkets.
Yes.
Very liberally. Where it was harder to recycle your jokers in Balatro. You kind of had to be a little bit more selective because you didn't have typically a lot of money to do that. This, I agree with you, Andrew. It was very easy to just recycle, find the ones that you want.
When you get the drawers, you're getting free trinkets.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
You have those activated.
Yeah. So I think that I almost wish that this one was a little bit more restrained and kind of forced you to have to make tough choices, because I felt like it was kind of easy to just, oh, well, this is just what I'm going to target. I'm going to do this. And again, similar to Balatro, like everyone argues you don't really need to know poker, which is true because it basically breaks the game of poker, and that's how you can score a lot of points. this is kind of the same idea. You don't necessarily need to just get all the bells. You could do it to where, hey, all the worst setups for me, I want to actually benefit me the most. So to me, there's a lot of, it's closer to apples when it comes to gameplay on that. I get it. I think you sometimes have a little bit more control on Balatro per hand. I will agree with that there's a little bit more strategy that goes in there, but they're pretty darn close.
Well, I would say on the hand and the overall deck versus the trying to control like the percentages of how they appear. Now, overall, it's the same idea, and I wouldn't argue totally against that. I actually think I just might have missed it entirely. So I unlocked all 4 drawers. Do I just immediately get 4 free trinkets out of them every single time? Because I saw there would be times that we'd like kind of be shaking, and that's when there would be a trinket in there, I thought. And most of the time they would just be empty.
You're supposed to get the limbs, the meaty limbs, which the easy way to get limbs is make sure you have a trinket in each drawer by the end of your run, because those get turned into limbs when you start another run. When you get a limb, it increases the bounty you need to reach by 5%. So obviously, if you get all 4 limbs, increases the bounty by 20%.
But doesn't
and
it
then
take
there's
up
a skull
slot too?
No, they don't take up charm slots. They sit on top of the slot machine.
Yeah.
So they're free.
You're
they
like kind of putting the body parts
spot.
on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then when you get the skull, the skull gives you a free trinket every round that you have a limb. So that's how you can get 4 free trinkets every time you complete a bounty.
So you're making it more challenging. You're like creating it to become more difficult to complete the round. But the payoff is, the payoff is you get more.
So I don't know if I missed it. I just didn't take advantage of it. I just went, I don't think I want to take this so early on. And I avoided those pretty much all the time, to be honest. I just didn't take them.
No, Andrew, you do kind of bring up a good point. So I don't recall there being a tutorial in this. It kind of talks you through the first round.
Talks you through it, yeah.
But this is kind of one of those games. The only reason I knew about those limbs, so I'm kind of curious how you knew about it, Andrew. The only reason I knew about it is I was watching videos on this before it came out on Game Pass. So I was watching people play this game for hours every night. And I thought it was really fascinating to watch. And it's the only reason I knew about the body parts. It's the only reason I knew about that stuff. So how did you know about it?
I just stumbled upon it. Because I noticed when I had the drawers and I was putting trinkets in the drawers by my next run, those trinkets, because I was like, I think I can bank trinkets. So if I knew I was going to lose a run, I'm like, I really like this trinket. I'm going to store it in the drawer. Maybe I can grab it in my next run. But then I noticed that it turned into a bloody buddy part.
So it's kind of trial and error. You saw there were drawers. You saw you could put trinkets in there, so you figured.
Because eventually I found the skull, and the skull specifically tells you'll get a free trinket for every limb that you have. So that's why it instantly clicked on me where I'm like, I really want to get these limbs early, get that skull, and then I'm getting free trinkets.
Yeah. See, I really messed that up then, because I just looked at those, and for some reason the way I was reading it, which was clearly wrong, was I was thinking that it was going to take up one of my trinket slots and negatively impact me. I was like, this just feels like it's something I want to use for a later run, for like a hard run. I'm not trying to do hard runs right now. I'm just trying to get through it. Totally glossed over, because I stumbled upon them and I had them. I just didn't really know how to effectively use them. So now I'm going to have to try that.
Well, this is where I'm saying, like, I 100% would be in Keith's shoes right now, because that's such a me thing to just like, unless it kind of told me explicitly or it seemed very obvious, I was never going to catch that. So for me, I was watching people that had been playing it already for hours, and I'm seeing them do all this stuff. So I didn't have to learn that stuff. I knew it just from watching people. But I'm kind of curious, if you're coming into this completely blind, that doesn't necessarily feel obvious. So I was kind of curious how you got there, Andrew, but that kind of makes sense. You are looking at, there are these drawers, they do something, and you could put trinkets in there. So I guess it does make sense of, all right, we'll see if it saves it.
The hardest thing to do that I ended up looking up is how to ascend, which is, at the end of every round, there's a phone that calls you. And it gives you a choice. Some of them are very helpful, and others are not so much. And so, I did notice that. I'm like, why are some texts red? Sometimes it's yellow. What's going on here? And I saw there's an achievement, change the color of the phone. So I'm like, okay, how do I do this? So that one, definitely, I feel like you have to look up, because I noticed things, but I didn't know why they were happening. And so once I looked it up, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I will say for the most part, you're fine looking stuff up. There's, as we kind of already determined the story, it's not
Yeah.
Inscription level. Like Inscription, I would say absolutely never look anything up. Just figure it out. It's well worth your time. But in this, it's kind of like, okay.
No, and that's interesting because it kind of counters my point, yeah, I guess, even a little bit, to say I never really truly figured out this. And I'm saying I couldn't really break the game, but I got all 4 drawers unlocked. So I had a handful of runs that went into the, couple 100,000, I guess even million. Now I haven't done any hard runs. I was trying to do some of the memory packs, but nothing. I didn't get through any of them. So,
Which, Keith, did you ever escape the room?
no.
Oh,
And so that's where I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I can do that without the body parts or whatever.
no, you need the body parts. That's the other reason why I figured out the body
So-
parts, because I noticed
so-
you need it for the key.
Well, so then that's again, I guess, a major reason why I never escaped there, because I never truly did anything with limbs. I just was like, oh no, I'm gonna keep trying to unlock it. It was when I was trying to unlock the purple key, that's when maybe I don't know if it pushes you towards the limbs a little bit further, because you kind of figure out like, hey, assuming I couldn't unlock it at a certain coin amount like I would normally, right? That
Yeah.
purple key.
Yeah, it only
Okay.
unlocks with the limbs.
Okay. So yeah, I'm guessing it would have probably forced me to figure it out a little bit at that point. But yeah, I just never tried to.
Hey, we come here to learn and discuss.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're learning things today.
We don't play the game. We come here to do our review with only knowing half the game.
And
Honestly,
just
with-
see
with
if
me-
everyone else can fill in the gaps for us.
Yeah, with me, that's usually the case. Usually, I come here like, guys, I was stuck on something, I didn't know how it worked, and then you
Which
guys
is so
have to
funny.
explain
We
it to me.
all literally talk to each other all during the week.
Yeah, but like to me,
Well, this one was kind of a total.
I think I kind of embrace being the noob here. Like that is supposed to be my role.
And apparently the whipping boy.
And so I know, because people that listen to this podcast love the fact that I don't know what the heck I'm doing most of the time. Because I literally play like 3 games religiously all year long, and then I don't really touch other things. So I've gotten very stupid at video games. And so when things are very obvious to the normal person, to me, I'm like, I don't know what it wants me to do right now. You know when people complain about how in video games they just kind of put yellow paint everywhere now?
Yeah.
That's for me. That's what game developers are trying to fix and help. They're putting yellow paint for me. So think of me
I want to
next
see a
time.
game, and I'm a personal fan of the yellow paint, so this isn't even
I
knocking it. But I want to see a game that's like makes it optional. That you can just be like, no, I want to turn that off, and just
I
free
mean,
roam this.
It's not
Like,
a bad
I'm
idea,
actually
truthfully.
kind of surprised they haven't. Like, just make it default and let people turn it off. But anyways, that's a digression.
But yeah,
That's
as
kinda-
far as gameplay, I don't know if there's
that's
anything more you
kinda
guys want to
it.
add to it.
You can
Yeah.
kind of move around in the cell. So,
Yeah, I like there's a random toilet in there that you can pee and poop in.
well, I mean, you're locked
you
in
get
your cell.
You get a trinket when you do it the first time, but besides
That
that,
is
it's
true,
like this developer literally designed this whole animation just for one-time use to get a trinket, because it's like maybe there's something hidden. I literally kept going to the bathroom over and over again. I'm like, oh, maybe I need to pee on the toilet seat. Maybe I need to pee on the wall.
I mean, I gotta
maybe there's
be
a secret somewhere.
You got an
There's
achievement
not.
for it. Wasn't that
Yeah.
enough? Which I pointed out in our Discord. It's been, I don't know, I think for the last 2 years I've said I was going to hit 200,000. I finally did it, and Clover Pit was the game that I did it with. The achievement was using the toilet to go pee and
Gosh,
poop.
what a
That was my
perfect achievement.
That was my 200,000.
Congratulations,
So,
Keith. What a
Thanks,
Thank
moment.
you.
Clover Pit.
Yeah, right. I mean, I can only imagine. I would like to see if there's a way to find that. How many over the course of all the games I played have to do with using a bathroom? Because like there's plenty of other games that have done that before. I just want to know
Yeah.
the total number of times I've gotten an achievement for using a toilet in a video game.
Hey, leave a comment down below if you know the answer to that question.
Or if you just have ones offhand that you know of, just leave it in the comments.
Do you have any
I'll see if I
good
played it.
bathroom-related achievements? We want to know about them.
Oh, well, we didn't really talk about, but the modded runs. So eventually you end up getting these memory packs. You insert them into a VCR, and it obviously affects your runs in different ways. I gotta say, the mods weren't, I don't know, to me, they didn't change things too drastically. Like, some of them kind of did. Like, oh, they limit the number of, charms you can have. Or the shop only has 3 instead of 4 charms. But as we said, it's so easy to cycle the shop, like it didn't seem that big of a hindrance. The hardest one was the bounty one, which literally right off the beginning doubles the bounty you need to hit in order to continue going on. Like that one is very hard. If you beat it, you get a golden knob for the slot machine, which I was very proud I got that, because when I got it too, it was at 0.06% of people completed it. But there's a hard mode for it, which I think like triples the bounty you need to do or something like that.
Jeez.
And I think there's an achievement alone just to do that one or something.
Are you gonna get it, Andrew?
I'm trying.
I believe it.
I'm very addicted to this game.
So the movement in this, though, I will say, so I played this on both computer and on controller. It will run on just about anything because it will drop all the way down to 360p, which I did on this game. And I actually was able to bump it up, and I was like, I'm going to go as slow as
What did that look like?
Honestly, not that much different.
I mean, it is.
There was probably
but...
I was going to say there was probably like 10 less pixels overall.
Goodness.
But even on my not very good PC, it was too fast. It was like running overclocked. It was so bad. But yeah, you could run this thing, I think, on a toaster if you needed to. But it was actually better with a mouse to just be able to just keep a very linear motion. You can't do that as easily with a controller because you're just naturally going to use some bit of Y to it. And then I'm just moving around in the full directional.
That does actually raise a question.
I wish I could kind of turn that off.
Did you play it on controller?
Both. I actually preferred mouse and keyboard because of that. Like I said, it made it a lot easier.
It feels very much like a mouse and keyboard game. Like it's I didn't play it on controller. I played it on mouse and keyboard. Andrew, did you play it on controller or mouse and keyboard?
I did only controller.
So did it feel good?
Yeah, it felt fine.
Okay.
There's a handful of times where it was a little hard. So usually, all right, because the thing that most was a big hindrance, as I said, if you store a trinket in the drawer at the end of your run, it turns into a body part the next run. So by accident, I didn't realize I'm failing the run. You have about 5 seconds before the floor drops, so you can kind of do some things. So that's the only thing that kind of stunk with the controller. Is like I'm trying to quickly just throw trinkets in the drawer because my run's about to end, and I would have sometimes a hard time aiming. So, but besides that, it's not like it's a fast-paced game. So yeah, the aiming's not great with the controller, but it wasn't.
It just feels like there's a lot of like smaller items you have to click on. Like the trinkets is another good example, and I didn't even think about that. The fact that the timer is going there, so you're kind of like, please, click, trying to hit it. And on a mouse and keyboard, that's a little bit easier than it is on a controller. But I mean, if you think it works fine, then I guess it's good.
Yeah, I think there was one time like I accidentally clicked no, and it was like, do you want to keep playing? So I didn't go into the endless mode. Basically, not really a big deal, and that could have probably happened on a keyboard too, but I felt like it was just the way I was, like I didn't realize what I highlighted on the controller or that it was asking. Even I wasn't paying attention.
That's user error. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, largely it was. Like I said, could have. I think it would have been less likely with a mouse and keyboard. Is what I'm saying, because I would have had to have actively clicked on yes or no.
But I already have a big negative for this game.
Ooh,
I'm going to start off. No leaderboard.
Oh, that would be
now
great.
that I got Mega Bach,
really,
and having that leaderboard in Mega Bach, I'm like, why isn't there one in Clover Pit?
Hold on, these are two different genres of games, so these are not necessarily the same thing. But I will agree with you. More and more games incorporating on these heavy repeat games, on these games that are about runs on heavy repeat and stuff like that. I'm with you. Just smack a leaderboard on there, no matter what it is. I don't care what type of game it is. If it's a heavy repeat, there's some type of score involved, hit me with that leaderboard. I'm with you.
But yeah, I know we already started touching on it, but when it comes to the graphics, Aaron, it's your favorite art style. This game is very heavy pixelated.
It is pixelated. It's not the same types of pixelation that I was talking about, but it does give you, I mean, it's kind of perfect, right? There's a VCR in the game. It does give you early 2000 vibes. Like I would say this feels like an N64 game, right? It's that type of pixelation. Whenever there was like a darker game, like if you were playing Quake 64 or something like that, it would look like this.
That's true.
So-
yeah, that's good. That's a good call.
Yeah, like, so I think that's the vibes I get from it. I'm sure that's what they were going for. Again, you've got the VCR in there, so it kind of has that N64 pixelation. So not quite like 8-bit. It's further on than that, and it's the 8-bit stuff that drives me nuts, because that
16-bit.
or 16-bit, both of those drive me nuts. Wait, was the N64 64 bits?
It was.
Oh,
I was got its name.
gosh.
Did you really not know that, Aaron? It's
Um,
really just out of you.
What's funny is, I mean, I figured it out when I just said it. I've never really thought of it though, until this very moment. Yeah. How have I never asked why it was N64? How have I never asked? But then, okay, was the Xbox 360 360 bits?
No,
I-
but
Is the Xbox One 1-bit?
no,
because the 360 was the
NES
first
was
console that
100%.
came out with 720.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
So I don't
Well,
know. These naming schemes are very crazy.
and
But-
there's also the Sony 32X, which I think was a 32-bit.
I don't even know if it was though, because it was like an add-on to
I was just about
Sega
to
Genesis
look
was
it up,
32.
but then
Do you remember
I
that, Aaron?
remembered No integrity.
No.
on this
No.
podcast.
We have no journalistic integrity here. We make claims. We stand by those claims, whether we are right
and
or
then
wrong.
people roast us in the comments.
Sega 32X is in fact a 32-bit system.
There you go. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Because I said it.
But yes, all that to say, graphically, I think it looks good. Like, I honestly don't have an issue with it. It's kind of cool. It gives you a good grimy feel. Like, that gives you a good grimy feel.
Grimy's
Yes,
a better
but
word. I was going to say gritty, but grimy's better.
Yeah, it's grimy in there.
But I have a bit of a complaint about that.
Oh boy.
I wish there was a gore feature you could turn off. Because, okay, this game isn't overly gory, but there are some things that are kind of grotesque, which, yes, I get this is a bit of a horror game. But in the end, it really is just you playing a slot machine. And I wanted to play this, but I'm like, to me, I'm like, this seems a little too gross to play in front of a 1-year-old and a 6-year-old. Like, but there's not that much blood. It's literally some limbs with some meaty bits on it. There's a bin of guts underneath your slot machine. It's like you could easily just, I don't know, remove those, have a slider feature for it.
That's
It's a minor complaint.
Yes.
It's a minor complaint.
That
but
is-
it is something I wish I could play. Like, I could obviously easily play Blatcher in front of my kids,
That's just
But
a
like-
preference because you have kids. I don't think it's necessarily needed.
but I'm not the only one with kids.
Okay.
Hey, if there's arachnophobia sliders, I want a gory slider.
Your kids can handle it. We handled Mortal Kombat when we were kids.
Doom
We handled Duke
64.
Nukem.
We had Doom in 64 bits.
Yeah, we saw all sorts of gore in 64 bits.
You actually make a good point. This is, literally N64 kind of gore.
I know.
Or actually less of that Sega Genesis gore.
You speaking of like watching something really intense in front of your kids, it was 2 years ago. It was the Xbox showcase, and they did the now very infamous Diablo expansion trailer.
Oh, yeah.
So it's me and at the time that he was maybe 6, Mason, watching it, and I
And the
didn't
guy's
know.
arms getting split open.
Yeah, very gory. Like, yeah, the hands just splitting open. And he didn't say a word. Like, he just kind of watched it like, okay. And went on with his life. Never mentioned it, never said anything about it. But we were like midway through it, and I'm like, ooh, this is one of those things. I didn't expect it to be that graphic.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, you turn it off, and then you're just making it.
Yes.
Are you making it worse? I guess that's the
Yeah.
question, because then you're calling attention
Yeah.
to it.
And he just kind of was like, whatever. Went on with his life. He's never talked about it before. He went to bed that night, had no issues. So
One of these days, he's just going to tell you, like, "Hey, Dad,
remember
know.
that time? I didn't sleep for a month.
Which is so weird. I remember, like, I had nightmares on, like, the first Jurassic Park. When you think about it, it's really not that gory.
No.
But there was moments of it. Literally, the first dinosaur, the raptor, the guy shouting, "Shoot!"
Yeah.
That terrified me as a kid. And it's like, your son and your 6-year-old son's watching a guy's arm getting split down the middle.
Yeah.
He's just, oh, whatever.
Yeah, just
Kids are just
unfazed,
desensitized
which
this
might
age.
be like concerning for the future if like that was just kind of like a ho hum moment for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the heads up, Xbox. Actually, they might have put a warning before it. I don't remember.
They almost definitely did.
They probably did, and I was just like, whatever, he'll be fine. He'll be, and he was.
But yeah, graphics were fine. Audio. It's a little bit of a disappointment. Nothing really for audio. except for the great repeating text that you get every single time you do that slot
Let's
machine.
go gambling.
That's
That I could do
I
without.
love that audio.
Now that thing is kind of cool though. I like how
Let's go gambling.
it's kind of like a robot.
Yeah, and it's like jarbled, like it doesn't quite say gambling right.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know what? We're getting spoiled. I want killer soundtracks in games.
Yeah.
I just when you're playing a game and then all of a sudden the soundtrack kicks in, you're just like, oh yeah, really, really into it. And this didn't have one.
It didn't have the Balatro jams going. That's for sure.
Oh, God. That Balatro is one song, and honestly, like
Yeah, I don't like that one.
It's
it
actually like
popped
4
up recently.
songs, for the record.
Yeah, I guess, but it's really mostly one song. But it did kick on recently, and I was like, I forgot about that song. That was pretty good. But I was playing Balatro, I got so sick of that song. But I mean, I don't know. This game is so easy to shut your brain off. Like, to me, it's fine that it didn't have audio. It's great that I could literally watch TV while playing this game because I'm just kind of hitting A and doing that slot machine. So I just kept watching One Piece while I was playing this. It worked great.
Nerd.
Proud of it.
But literally
yeah,
all we have
so
to say about audio.
yeah, I know there really is. That's
was
about it. There's a dialogue. Okay, moving on. So we obviously touched a little bit on the achievements. The achievements in this game, though, I think are very good. There is a handful that obviously are going. When I say handful, I mean like 2, 3 that are really going to make you work. As we said, there's these mod runs where it affects the game slightly different, whether limiting the number of trinkets or whatever you have. But once you do those, once you complete them, the mod becomes gold. But then you got to get the holographic version, which makes it a hard mode, which I think does the mod plus doubles the bounty. So that actually bumps it up. But you got to get, I think, holographic with every single mod for an achievement. That's probably going to be your longest time consuming one. I'm probably at 24 hours of gameplay, and I'm at 700 gamer score. So overall, though, majority of the achievements, very easy to get.
Yeah, I think I actually have like 350 or something with, I don't know, probably less than 10 hours of gameplay even, honestly. And I meant to bring this up. This is the one thing I didn't like about the memory packs. Now, in theory, they are pretty easy to get, actually. It's basically you just need to be able to clear around without playing every time. That's what will offer the memory packs, right? If I caught it right.
No, you get a memory pack if you can complete the next bounty. So
that's what I'm saying. Like you can, or
okay.
I said round, but yeah, if you can complete the amount of coins without having to spin the wheel at all, like to play around. Okay, so in theory, it is actually not that hard. It took me a little bit to figure out that's how I got them. I guess I didn't care for the fact that you only had a limited amount of them. I wanted it to be more of just like hey, you have this challenge run option now. Play it or don't play it. But that's
it seems odd. You have to collect consumable cards.
A very minor gripe because realistically, because another thing that just really, well, I don't know. Do you want me to just be the first one to do my summary? Because I feel like this is summary mode now.
Go right ahead, Keith.
Yeah,
I guess.
Kick into it.
Because I'm going into it. Because I'm making another self-admission of something that I just did completely wrong in this game that listening to you guys talk about it, I realized I did. So I'm this is a confession moment, is I wasn't re-rolling. Now I understood the importance of the trinkets. Like enough of this style of genre of games, I know what the importance of them, and I know I need them. I wasn't re-rolling. I was just like, I'll take what I get. Try to
put your first time playing a roguelike?
I know this. I'm. Did you hear me say confession moment, Andrew?
Yeah, you can't roast somebody when they announce confession. You cannot.
Like this is me saying, I know I was dumb. I know I was wrong here. I'm not even mad about it. Unlike certain people on this podcast are mad when they don't understand things, but I realize I'm like, man, I didn't really invest enough into that to control my run, so to speak, and I'm sitting here complaining that I didn't feel like I could control my runs that much. So that said, I have new homework to do on this game, and I was going to go back and play it anyways. So that's my confession. But Clover Pit is really cool. It's a lot of fun. I immediately said it didn't have the same hooks as a game like Balatro and even some other just kind of card genre games. I know this one isn't a card game, but it is really cool and it's unique. And I love that more game makers are just saying, I don't know, let's turn this into a roguelike. Like, I don't know, what can't we make a roguelike at this point is kind of my new favorite game that we can play. So I'm all about it. I like when they can do it. I think they did a fantastic job with how they present it and how it goes in this game. It's not my favorite one of them all, but it's on Game Pass. And if you're listening to this because you have Game Pass, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It can run on the dumpiest of computers because mine's not that very good and I can. So if that's your only option, feel free to play it there. Play a controller. Everything's on Xbox now. Cloud streaming is we joked about them dropping the beta tag, but I said this the other day. I truly notice a difference in the quality of cloud streaming now that it's off the quote unquote beta. Like I was streaming Forza Horizon the other day. It was gorgeous. Like felt like it was pure, full graphics. So I don't know, play this wherever you want, and it's a ton of fun and worth your time. But I think as far as score, I would give it an 84. Feels good.
Andrew, you usually go first, so yeah, you go.
Yeah.
So for me, Clover Pit hit pretty hard and quick. I really like this. I found this very addicting. Because as I said, to me, it felt very easy to break this game. And as I've said before on previous episodes, couldn't tell you which one. It's usually, that's what gamers want. They want to feel like a god in the game. They want to feel like they really broke it and did a great job. And that's exactly what Clover Pit did. Because I suck at Balatro. I played it a lot, but there was very few times where I'm like, oh, this is a god hand. I'm going to get super high, and I still end up losing. Like, heck, what are the colored chips? There's like 10 of them. I've only gotten past the second chip.
Oh, yeah. For the
so it's like
moves.
I suck at Balatro. Clover Pit here, on the other hand, I was beating things super quick, and to me, it was very addicting. So to me, this just hit really easy. I mean, easy as in like this, not that the game itself is easy, because when you up the difficulty on it, it can be very difficult. But yeah, just Clover Pit's a lot of fun. The story is just meh. Audio is meh. So that's what kind of brings it down a little bit for me. But overall, this is an 88. I want to keep playing it. It's super easy on cloud, as Keith was kind of saying. Like I actually did a good amount of this on cloud play. It's not a fast-paced game, so if you get a little bit of lag, not that big of a deal.
Yeah, this is a good one. Keith kind of brought up a really good, and we've been talking about this. We've been playing a lot of these indie games recently, where the kind of bullet hell survivor style games, and then these types of games. I feel like indie developers are just making these things like crazy. They seem like they're super easy to make because somebody just has a really clever idea and puts it together. And I think Keith kind of brought up a good point of just like, hey, this very simple idea, what if we just made it a roguelike? And then it just somehow works and it makes a lot of sense. This one's a good one. This one, I feel like the only thing that I think would make this a little bit more fun is if you weren't necessarily in a room that you could kind of move around in. I know that might sound dumb, but when you're doing quick runs, I kind of like the ability of everything kind of being on a screen.
I kind of had that same thought. I just wish I was pressing left or right to toggle view.
Yeah.
Almost more like the Balatro layout. Like, and it doesn't have to do a full shift into like a shop screen per se, but like your little, scroll wheel could turn into your shop or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do get why you buy the physical ones because it gives you the physical representation. But
Yes.
I get what you're saying at the same time.
Yeah, I don't want to take shots at it because I think like creatively it was really smart what they did. But this is where I say I think on a controller, it would be a lot easier if it was just something you could just kind of easily navigate through. But it's just a minor gripe, and that's kind of all I really have for it. I think it's pretty fun. I'm going to give this an 82. I don't think it's as replayable as Andrew is going for it, but it is fun.
I mean, I've easily put the most hours in it than all of us.
You clearly are obsessed. And the people that I was watching play this were obsessed. They would just finish a run and they just immediately be like, all right, back in. So
yeah. Oh, this game, always had me another run.
Yeah. So it definitely could get
a
its
game
hooks
like
in you.
this could, like, I don't want to say cure, a gambling addiction. But like, could it, if someone was like, had a gambling addiction, like slots in particular, it would be
Keith.
very hyper specific what we're saying here. Would this hit the same fix in their brain? It's just literally
Keith, as a journalist,
curiosity.
just make the claim. Make the claim right now and stick by it.
We
This
can.
will
And we're-
heal your addiction to gambling. Play this game. You'll be healed.
And end of the year category, top 5 games that will help cure gambling.
Yes, this is up there. This is nominated.
It's going to be one of those Google ads at the bottom of an ad. An article you're reading.
Yeah.
Just going to link to
The
us.
casinos are angry at them. Yeah.
They
One of
don't
those.
want you to know this one
Yeah.
simple trick.
The casinos don't want you to know this one simple trick. And it's just playing Clover Pit.
You can gamble without real money.
Yeah.
You've never been able to do that before.
This is it.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com. Check out our website, see our past reviews. Top right corner, you can find the link to our Discord, to our YouTube. Come by, say hi. We are trying, literally after recording, I'm going to be playing some Jackbox 11. So yeah, join our Discord and you can come join and play some games with us. Always love having people to come chat with us when we do our live recordings every Wednesday around 9 o'clock EST. But yeah, I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952.
I'm Keith.
And I'm
I've been
Aaron. Hit the
spinning
music.
wheel.
But
You know what
yeah.
else has some gambling? Is Forza Horizon. You can spin a
That's
wheel in
true.
that too.
That's also a little
So-
casino. That also, it cured me from my gambling addiction.
It's true.
So is there a game that cures alcoholism?
Not yet. We're working on it.
There's a roguelike for it.
Bar drinking roguelike. All right, everyone. Love you all. See you next week.
Bye.